If you're struggling with blood sugar spikes, stubborn weight, or diabetes complications, you're probably missing out on the most effective ways to take control of your diabetes health. Most diabetics focus on diet alone, but what if that's not enough? What if you're unknowingly making diabetes harder to manage? Today, we're revealing the top 3 most powerful strategies that don't just lower blood sugar, but supercharge your insulin sensitivity, protect your organs, and help you feel better than ever. These aren't the usual tips. You won't hear this from your doctor. Stay with me. This could change everything. 1. Mediterranean diet. The Mediterranean diet is not just another trend. It's one of the most scientifically proven ways to manage diabetes, improve insulin sensitivity, and lower the risk of complications. Rooted in the traditional eating habits of countries like Greece, Italy, and Spain, this diet prioritizes whole, nutrient-dense foods that naturally balance blood sugar, reduce inflammation, and protect against heart disease. In the U.S., where 37.3 million people have diabetes and insulin resistance is at an all-time high, adopting this lifestyle could be a game-changer. Unlike restrictive low-carb or calorie-cutting diets, the Mediterranean diet allows for delicious, satisfying meals while helping diabetics reduce A1C, lower fasting glucose, and prevent long-term damage. Diabetes is driven by chronic inflammation, insulin resistance, and metabolic dysfunction. Studies show that people following a Mediterranean diet have a 52% lower risk of developing type 2 diabetes compared to those on a standard American diet. In diabetics, this diet leads to a 0.32% to 0.47% reduction in A1C levels and significantly improves fasting glucose and insulin sensitivity. Another study found that people on a Mediterranean diet experience a 23% reduction in post-meal blood sugar spikes compared to those on a low-fat diet. This happens because the diet is rich in monounsaturated fats, olive oil, nuts, omega-3s, fatty fish, fiber, vegetables, legumes, whole grains, and antioxidants, herbs, spices, berries, all of which work together to regulate blood sugar and insulin response. One of the biggest hidden drivers of diabetes is chronic inflammation, which damages insulin receptors and worsens blood sugar control. The Mediterranean diet naturally lowers inflammation through high amounts of polyphenols, flavonoids, and omega-3 fatty acids. Extra virgin olive oil, the foundation of this diet, contains oleocanthal, a compound with anti-inflammatory effects comparable to ibuprofen. Fatty fish like salmon and sardines provide EPA and DHA, essential omega-3s that reduce inflammation markers by up to 35%. Even everyday spices like turmeric, cinnamon, and garlic help stabilize glucose levels and enhance insulin function. The heart health benefits of this diet are critical for diabetics, who are twice as likely to die from heart disease. Studies show that following a Mediterranean diet can reduce the risk of cardiovascular disease by 30%, lower LDL, bad, cholesterol by 10 to 15%, and increase HDL, good or mild cholesterol, by 5 to 10%. It also helps regulate blood pressure, reducing the risk of stroke and kidney disease, 2 common complications of diabetes. The inclusion of nuts and seeds, particularly walnuts and almonds, has been shown to improve endothelial function, which is crucial for preventing arterial blockages. Weight management is another major advantage. 80% of type 2 diabetics are overweight or obese, and excess belly fat worsens insulin resistance. The Mediterranean diet helps with sustainable weight loss by prioritizing fiber-rich foods that keep you full, proteins that stabilize blood sugar, and healthy fats that prevent cravings. Unlike low-carb or extreme diets, this way of eating supports metabolism without deprivation. Studies show that people following a Mediterranean diet lose 4.4 to 10.1 pounds more over 1 year than those on a low-fat diet. More importantly, they keep the weight off without rebound weight gain, which is a common issue in diabetics. Gut health plays a huge role in glucose regulation and insulin sensitivity. Yet many diabetics have an imbalance in gut bacteria due to high sugar intake, processed foods, and medication use. The Mediterranean diet naturally restores gut health by including probiotic-rich dairy, Greek yogurt, kefir, fiber-dense legumes, and prebiotic vegetables, garlic, onions, leeks. A healthier gut microbiome leads to better insulin function, reduced sugar cravings, and improved digestion. Studies show that diabetics with a balanced gut microbiome have 18% better glucose control than those with poor gut health. Meal timing and portion control are key factors that many diabetics overlook. Even healthy foods can spike blood sugar if eaten in excess. A balanced Mediterranean plate should include 50% non-starchy vegetables, 25% protein, and 25% whole grains or legumes, with healthy fats added in moderation. Eating meals slowly, drinking water before meals, and taking a 10 to 15-minute walk after eating can reduce post-meal glucose spikes by 22 to 25%. One common mistake diabetics make when following this diet is over-consuming whole grains and fruits. While these are healthy, they still contain natural sugars that can spike glucose if not eaten in balance. The key is to pair carbs with protein or fat. For example, adding nuts to oatmeal, pairing berries with Greek yogurt, or eating whole grain bread with avocado. This slows down glucose absorption, preventing sharp blood sugar rises. Even the way food is cooked matters. Deep frying, high heat grilling, and processed oils can create advanced glycation end products, AGEs, which worsen insulin resistance. Instead, diabetics should focus on roasting, steaming, sautéing, or slow cooking foods in healthy fats like olive oil. Using herbs and spices instead of salt also helps reduce water retention and improve blood pressure control. The Mediterranean diet isn't about deprivation. It's about making smarter food choices that naturally support blood sugar control, heart health, and overall well-being. Many diabetics find that within just 2 to 3 weeks of following this diet, they experience fewer blood sugar swings, better energy levels, and even reduced medication dependency. By making small intentional changes, like in swapping refined oils for olive oil, replacing processed snacks with nuts, and adding more fiber to meals, the body starts to heal and diabetes becomes easier to manage. 2. Continuous glucose monitoring, CGM. Continuous glucose monitoring, CGM, is a breakthrough technology that has revolutionized diabetes management by providing real-time glucose readings and eliminating the guesswork associated with traditional fingerstick testing. Unlike standard glucose meters, which only provide a snapshot of blood sugar at a single moment, CGMs offer continuous tracking 24/7, showing how glucose levels fluctuate throughout the day and night. This allows diabetics to make better decisions about food, exercise, and medication, leading to improved glucose control and a reduced risk of complications. In the U.S., where 37.3 million people have diabetes, CGM adoption has surged, especially among insulin-dependent diabetics. As of recent studies, 60 to 70% of type 1 diabetics and around 30% of type 2 diabetics using insulin now rely on CGMs, with numbers growing rapidly as insurance coverage expands. CGM systems consist of a small sensor inserted under the skin, a transmitter that sends data, and a receiver or smartphone app that displays glucose readings. The sensor measures glucose levels in the interstitial fluid, not directly from the blood, but studies show that modern CGMs have a mean absolute relative difference, MERD, of 8 to 10%, making them highly accurate. Unlike older CGMs that required multiple calibrations, the latest models are factory calibrated and require 0 fingersticks. Readings are updated every 1 to 5 minutes, generating up to 288 glucose readings per day, compared to a diabetic who might check only 4 to 6 times per day with a standard meter. One of the biggest advantages of CGMs is early warning alerts for hypoglycemia and hyperglycemia. Many diabetics, especially those with long-term diabetes, experience hypoglycemia unawareness, where they fail to recognize dangerously low blood sugar levels. CGMs provide real-time alarms when glucose drops below a safe level, preventing life-threatening events. Studies show that CGM users experience up to 40% fewer severe hypoglycemic episodes, and those who use alert features properly reduce their time spent in dangerous glucose ranges by 50%. CGMs also improve A1C levels and overall glucose control. Research shows that diabetics using CGMs see an average A1C reduction of 0.5% to 1.0% within 3 to 6 months, which is comparable to adding a new medication, but without the side effects. More importantly, CGM users experience a 10 to 20% increase in time in range, 70 to 180 milligrams per deciliter, which translates to 2 to 5 extra hours per day of stable blood sugar. This is crucial because even small improvements in time and range have been linked to a 40% lower risk of diabetic complications such as neuropathy, retinopathy, and kidney disease. Post-meal glucose spikes are one of the biggest challenges for diabetics. CGMs provide immediate feedback on which foods cause sharp blood sugar increases, allowing users to make better dietary choices. For example, CGM users often discover that eating carbohydrates alone leads to 15 to 30% higher post-meal glucose spikes compared to pairing carbs with protein and healthy fats. This helps diabetics optimize their meals by adding fiber, protein, and fat to slow glucose absorption and prevent drastic spikes. Exercise can have unpredictable effects on blood sugar. Aerobic exercise, walking, jogging, cycling, typically lowers glucose, while high-intensity workouts, weightlifting, sprinting, can initially spike blood sugar due to stress hormones. CGMs help diabetics understand these patterns and adjust their pre-workout snacks, insulin doses, and hydration levels accordingly. Research shows that diabetics using CGMs are more likely to engage in physical activity, and those who track their glucose during exercise reduce their risk of exercise-induced lows by 35%. One of the biggest stressors for diabetics is the fear of nighttime hypoglycemia, which can be fatal. Studies show that 50 to 60% of severe low blood sugar episodes occur overnight, often without symptoms. CGMs eliminate this fear by providing real-time nighttime glucose tracking and automatic alerts for dropping glucose levels. This is especially beneficial for parents of children with type 1 diabetes, as remote monitoring allows them to check their child's blood sugar while they sleep, preventing dangerous lows. Psychologically, CGMs dramatically reduce diabetes-related stress and anxiety. Many diabetics live with constant fear of highs and lows, leading them to either overcorrect with insulin or keep their blood sugar too high as a safety precaution. CGM data helps users make informed decisions rather than reacting based on fear. Studies show that diabetics using CGMs report a 50% reduction in diabetes-related stress and improved overall quality of life. The financial impact of CGMs is another critical factor. While CGMs are an investment, they lead to long-term cost savings by preventing emergency hospital visits, reducing medication needs, and avoiding complications. A diabetic with uncontrolled blood sugar faces 2.3 times higher medical costs, but CGM users reduce hospital admissions by 60% due to fewer extreme highs and lows. Medicare and most insurance companies now cover CGMs for insulin-dependent diabetics, and more private insurers are expanding coverage for type 2 diabetics. The latest advancement in CGM technology is integration with insulin pumps, creating closed-loop artificial pancreas systems. These devices automatically adjust insulin delivery based on real-time CGM data, leading to 11 to 20% more time in range and a 0.3 to 0.6% additional A1C reduction compared to manual insulin adjustments. Even for those not using an insulin pump, CGMs allow for better timing of insulin injections, helping diabetics fine-tune their doses to prevent unnecessary highs and lows. Despite the overwhelming benefits, CGMs are not without challenges. Some users experience mild skin irritation from adhesives, and factors like dehydration, vitamin C supplements, or certain medications can sometimes affect accuracy. Additionally, cost remains a barrier for non-insulin dependent diabetics, although prices are gradually decreasing with more competition in the market. Looking ahead, CGMs are becoming smarter, smaller, and more user-friendly. The next generation of CGMs will feature longer sensor wear times up to 6 months, improved accuracy, and automatic insulin adjustments. AI-driven glucose prediction tools are also being developed to help diabetics anticipate blood sugar trends before they happen, further enhancing diabetes management. The future of diabetes care is moving towards fully automated glucose control, and CGMs are at the center of this transformation. For diabetics, CGMs are more than just a convenience. They are a life-saving tool that prevents emergencies, reduces complications, and makes daily life easier. Whether you're struggling with erratic blood sugar, post-meal spikes, nighttime lows, or fear of hypoglycemia, CGMs provide the insights needed to take control of diabetes with confidence. 3. Strength training. Strength training is one of the most powerful yet underutilized tools for diabetes management. While diet and cardio get most of the attention, only 20% of diabetics engage in regular strength training, missing a proven way to improve blood sugar control, insulin sensitivity, and prevent complications. Strength training involves resistance exercises using weights, bands, or body weight to build muscle and metabolic health. In the U.S., its popularity is growing, but over 80% of diabetics fail to meet strength training recommendations, despite strong evidence of its benefits. Lifting weights or performing resistance exercises increases glucose uptake by muscles without insulin. Lowering blood sugar. Diabetics who do strength training at least twice a week improve insulin sensitivity by 20 to 25%, allowing their cells to absorb glucose more effectively. GLUT4 transporters, which move glucose into muscle cells, become more active, reducing insulin resistance. Unlike cardio, which burns sugar during the workout, strength training keeps blood sugar levels stable for up to 48 hours after exercise. Muscle mass plays a major role in blood sugar regulation. More muscle means more glucose storage and better insulin response. Every 10% increase in muscle mass cuts insulin resistance by 11%. Yet many diabetics lose muscle with age, a condition called sarcopenia, which worsens blood sugar control. This is why diabetics over 50 should prioritize strength training, as it prevents muscle loss and reduces diabetes progression. Strength training significantly lowers A1C levels. Studies show diabetics who lift weights regularly reduce A1C by 0.6 to 1.0% within 3 to 6 months, similar to the effect of certain diabetes medications. Fasting blood sugar drops by 10 to 20 milligrams per deciliter, leading to fewer spikes and crashes. Diabetic complications decrease with strength training. Over 50% of diabetics suffer from neuropathy, nerve damage, causing pain, tingling, and numbness. Strength training improves blood flow to nerves, reduces inflammation, and stimulates nerve regeneration, cutting neuropathy risk by 30%. Diabetic retinopathy, eye damage, is also reduced because strength training enhances blood circulation to the retina, lowering vision loss risk. Diabetics have a 70% higher risk of heart disease, but strength training reduces that risk. Studies show it lowers systolic blood pressure by 6 to 8 millimeters of mercury, significantly reducing stroke and heart attack risk. It also decreases triglycerides by 15 to 20% and increases HDL, good cholesterol, by 10 to 15%, protecting the heart. Strength training helps with weight loss and stubborn belly fat, which drives insulin resistance. Unlike cardio, which only burns calories during the workout, strength training boosts metabolism for up to 72 hours post-exercise. Diabetics who lift weights lose 7% more body fat than those who rely on diet alone. More importantly, it reduces visceral fat, fat around organs, which increases diabetes complications. Hormonal balance is another overlooked benefit. Diabetics often have low testosterone or growth hormone levels, worsening insulin resistance. Strength training naturally boosts these hormones, improving muscle building, fat burning, and energy levels. For women, it balances estrogen and progesterone, reducing blood sugar fluctuations. Poor sleep is common in diabetics, often due to fluctuating blood sugar levels. Strength training improves sleep by increasing deep sleep by 25% and reducing nighttime wake-ups by 30%, leading to more stable glucose levels overnight. Diabetics should start with bodyweight exercises like squats, push-ups, and lunges, gradually adding resistance bands, free weights, or machines. Training at least 2 to 3 times per week is ideal, with compound exercises like squats, deadlifts, and rows providing maximum glucose uptake. 8 to 12 reps per exercise, 2 to 3 sets ensure muscle engagement without overtraining. Post-workout nutrition is crucial. Strength training makes muscles highly insulin sensitive, meaning they absorb glucose efficiently. A balanced post-workout meal with lean protein and fiber-rich carbs, chicken with quinoa, Tofu with vegetables replenishes glycogen without causing sugar spikes. There are risks to consider. Hypoglycemia, low blood sugar, can occur if insulin or certain medications are not adjusted properly. Monitoring blood sugar before and after workouts prevents dangerous drops. Diabetics with retinopathy or neuropathy should modify certain exercises and consult their doctor before lifting heavy weights. Strength training is not just about building muscle. It's a critical tool for blood sugar control, metabolic health, and long-term diabetes management. Just 2 sessions a week can lead to profound improvements in A1C, insulin sensitivity, weight loss, heart health, and overall energy levels. Managing diabetes doesn't have to feel like a losing battle. With the right strategies, you can take control and start seeing real changes. Now it's your turn. Which of these approaches are you going to try first? Let me know in the comments. And if you found this helpful, don't forget to like this video, share it with someone who needs it, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss powerful tips to take charge of your health. Stay strong, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.